morning, Port Jervis, and welcome to the Port Connects podcast. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the podcast. Happy Port Pride Friday, everyone. Happy holidays, and certainly good wishes to everybody watching live. We are in studio. We are live, and today's guest, Vicky Sheeley, formerly Victoria Star, class of 2012. Welcome back, Victoria.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Mr. Murata, for having me. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and being here with us today. We see a few people here so far. Hopefully, we can have a few more.
There you go. I think the last time you were in my office when I was principal, maybe we weren't discussing your books, maybe some other things.
Maybe.
Back then?
No, I was a good student.
Victoria's here with her brother today. Justin's in the other room. Give him a shout out also. But Victoria Star, Vicky Sheeley now with us. But before we jump in with Victoria, just a couple quick announcements. Number one, it is a Port Pride Friday. Ooh. Excited. Shout out to our Port Jervis High School Drama Club. They are putting on Charlie Brown Christmas tonight at the Milford Theater, 7 tonight and 1 p.m. tomorrow. That's at the Milford Theater. And our middle school has their cabaret, their holiday cabaret. Ooh, that is Saturday at the VFW here in Port Jervis. So those things are happening. There's also a hazardous waste and pharmaceuticals collection that's happening at the high school tomorrow between 9 and 3. You have some of those liquids, some of those things that you don't know what to do with. You can get rid of them there. It is that collection that's happening Saturday. All right, enough of our announcements. Victoria's here, class of 2012. So Victoria, it's been 12 years. That's a long time. We're both getting older.
No, not getting older.
You're getting younger.
We're getting wiser. We're getting wiser, not getting older. No, but yes, it has been 12 years, but it's been a full 12 years.
Yeah. So tell me some of the things you're doing since graduating. Tell me what's going on.
In the last 12 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but a lot of good things that have been happening in the last 12 years. I have written two novellas. One is called The Voice Inside, and the other one is called Emilia's Awakening, both part of the Time Traveling Chronicles. The first one was Emilia's Awakening, and the second part, which is the prequel, which is The Voice Inside. They are about, the main theme is mental health, but they are about a young woman named Emilia St. Clair who meets a time traveler, and she joins a group called the Corads and finds out a lot about herself, as well as the journey to learn about her mental health and fight for what is right. The group, there's an ancient group called the Order, who is an evil group, and they are determined to, they're hell-bent on enslaving those with mental health issues and through their medications. So the Corads, as well as Emilia and this time traveler, are determined to defeat the Order. So will the fight for mental health ever be truly won in this novella? Will the good guys succeed? You never know. You got to find out.
You got to read the book.
You got to read the book. Will Emilia figure out her mental health? Will she, find out all this new and fun information in these books? And then
hold on, before you get to the second one. Hold on. Sorry. I gotta get some questions in here. Yeah. Before you get to that. So tell me, Victoria, but even before we get into the book, is writing a book something you always wanted to do? Where did this come from? Where did this desire, and again, to hold your book in your hands is a big deal. Where did this desire
sorry, I get nervous. So I suffer with mental health.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, I have anxiety. When I was in middle school, in Port Jervis Middle School, I had my first panic attack. And when I was in Port Jervis Middle School in 7th grade, I had my first panic attack. With John Xanthus, I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
The superintendent. John Xanthus.
Xanthus, yes.
Principal Jean Lane was there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Lazaro, was he there?
They all met me in the hospital with Mr. John Bon Jovi. Oh my gosh,
John Bon Jovi came to the hospital. Mr. Bon Jovi.
Mr. Bon Jovi. I
Yeah.
said John Bon Jovi. I'm sorry. Mr. Bon Jovi met me in the hospital. Met me in the hospital when I had my first panic attack, and that really started my diving deep into this mental health. So I started writing poetry about it, and I was published at 13.
Wow.
Yes, I was published at 13 writing about my poetry about mental health and stuff like that. So that started my interest in writing about mental health and diving deep into my own mental health. So that's what really started it.
Was writing about it helpful?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Writing about my own mental health was extremely helpful.
Victoria, sometimes people are afraid to talk about mental health or talk about maybe something that's perceived that can hold them back. Were you nervous about kind of writing about that?
Oh, absolutely. The stigma right now on mental health is something that is so important to talk about. The stigma is something that I myself am determined to end.
Wow.
I want to be that voice for the voiceless.
I love it,
I want to be that voice for the voiceless so we can end the stigma. I want to be able to freely speak about mental health without being worried if someone's going to judge us, without worrying if someone is going to call us names or look down upon us in any light. I want people to talk about their symptoms, talk about their diagnoses, and just be free to be who they are in any which way. And I want our children to talk about it. I want to be able, our children to talk to their parents, our parents to talk to each other. I want all of us to be able to talk about it without fear of judgment or criticism. And that is what I am trying to do with my writing. I want it to get out to everybody that mental health is okay to speak about.
So talk to me about the developing of this character, Emilia.
Emilia is a little bit of myself, a little bit of most women that are in my life. The power that comes behind Emilia's bravery and her actions are a little bit of me, my mom, my best friend / my sister Dina. I call her my sister, and my best friend Stephanie. I combine all of our bravery and our power and put her into this character. She suffers with mental health symptoms. She suffers with addiction. She suffers with a bunch of different other things. And I take her past symptoms and her past traumas and I turn it into something beautiful. And it's something that we can share and something that people can relate to.
Nice. Emilia, there's a lot of students that watch this. Hopefully our English department will share this. Talk to me about, sitting down and writing it. Did you do it on a laptop? Did you have a notepad and you sketched out the characteristics of Emilia? How did you kind of put it together?
Oh, absolutely. So for my first book, Emilia's Awakening, I wrote it down. I just love touching the book. Sorry.
Yeah.
Emilia's Awakening, I wrote down, I spent every day in Kingston Gateway Pro's art class, which is a mental health class, mental health program in Kingston. Every day in their art class, I've spent writing out my ideas in my notebook. And whether I had class once a week or twice a week, I spent writing out all my ideas in my notebook, and I did that for about a year, and then I typed it all up on my laptop.
Let me jump in. Were they just ideas? Were they complete sentences? Were they thoughts? Were they her name? When you say ideas, how did you put those in the book?
Some of them were complete sentences. Like I would do paragraphs at a time, and then just I would think of kind of like movie ideas, like scenes in a movie. And then I would write them out. What would I see? What would I hear? What would I smell? And then describe all of it out. And then if I had side notes or side ideas, I would scribble them in the little side parts of my notebook and remember them for later.
Nice.
Or I wouldn't finish until I got a complete thought out.
Yeah.
But then for my second book, I did it all on a laptop. So
You didn't have
it
that
varied.
handwriting
Yeah,
brainstorming.
it varied.
Well, you got better at it. You already had one book.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now you've written both of these in the same year?
So Emilia's Awakening took from July of last year to July of this year.
Okay.
And The Voice Inside only took from July of this year till October of this year.
You're getting faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was a very passionate story, the second book.
Hold on. I don't want to get to the second one yet. Okay, so you have the ideas. You start writing it. Was it similar to like English class when they made you write an essay and you had your introduction, you had your body, you had your argumentative points and your conclusion? Was it similar, or did you write it in a different way?
I kind of wrote it in a different way, honestly. I decided to write it out more free writing.
Yeah.
When I wrote it in my notebook and I wrote like the scenes as I was seeing them in my head, I kind of just free wrote. I didn't like punctuate and stuff like that. I free wrote in my notebook, and then when editing comes along, that's when you organize your thoughts and put it in, you put it in order, and then the punctuation and all of that. So it goes back and forth. It goes, you want to get all your ideas out on page, and then, you have to go through the editing and the formatting process, and you go through a bunch of different phases when you're writing a book.
Yeah. Was the free write in chronological order? Were you writing as the story was unfolding for Emilia?
For the most part, yes.
Yeah,
some of the parts I was skipping back and forth, but for the most part, yes, I was writing in chronological order.
Cool. Victoria, let's pause from the book for a second. Was there any adults in the middle school or high school that, there's an alarm. Were there any adults that you spoke to about this writing and or kind of influenced your writing or influenced you while you were in school?
Well, there's a two-part question, because someone who influenced my writing was Mrs. Kennedy.
Oh,
I loved Mrs.
Yeah.
Kennedy. She influenced my writing as a whole. She always encouraged me to write, and she always gave me tips and tricks on how to write better, and she was always so loving and endearing when it came to my writing.
Beautiful. You had her what grade, what level?
9th and 12th.
9th and 12th. Okay,
Yes.
So the start and the end of high school. Very
Yes.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And someone who touched me, as figuratively, obviously, someone who was impacted me as a student was Mr. Kmar.
Yeah.
Mr. Jared Kmar.
Jared Kmar.
He was an amazing instructor, and I saw him in all different types of positions, as from athletic director to my freshman year
Social studies, right?
history teacher.
Yeah.
And he was just incredible, and he always taught every student the same way, no matter who you were, no matter what social structure you were from. He taught you the same way.
Wow.
And he always had an impression on me, and I never took that for granted.
Awesome. Mr. Kmar, Jared Kmar, good friend at Port Jervis. That's great to hear, Victoria. Did you ever speak to Mrs. Kennedy about, hey, maybe one day I'm going to write a book? Was that thought in your mind while you were in high school?
I always wanted to write a book, but I never thought it would be something that would come to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought like I could actually physically hold it.
Feels good to hold it.
Oh, it feels great to hold it. It feels great to hold it in my hand. Like, I still sometimes sit at home at night and look at it and hold it and be like, I did this. And that's something that we cannot let our dreams go by. Like, we need to appreciate our dreams.
Victoria, in the show notes are the links to the book, right? It's on Barnes and Nobles there.
Yes.
You had some signings I saw with them as well. So back to the book. So Emilia, again, built up of people you know, yourself, her characteristics, but you had that, a young lady as well as a time traveler. There's a lot going on there. Talk to me about the time travel aspect of this, and where is she going? Is she going backwards? Is she going forward? Talk to me about that aspect of the book.
Oh, well, see, that's tricky because I don't want to give
You
away.
want to give it away? She's holding out, everybody.
I don't want to give away too much, but so okay. So without giving away too much, with the time traveling, it's.
You don't have to go into it. We can hold off on that. That's okay.
Okay, because that's a hard question. I don't want to give away too much because she goes all over the place with the time traveling, because in her missions she has to go forward and backward.
Okay.
She has to go all over the place with her missions.
If you're watching live, jump in with a question for Victoria. Jump in with a comment. So in the second book, do you continue with Emilia? Do you continue the story? It's going to be a series?
Well, it's a prequel. The second book is a prequel.
Wow. You are going all over the place. I love it. So is this Emilia on the cover?
Yes.
There she is. Okay. Beautiful young lady. Yeah. Oh, here it says, in this dramatic prequel, Emilia learns she has to deal with mental difficulties different than the average people. This coming-of-age novella showcases the problem wow, look at you.
Well, that's a quote from another author.
Yeah, Dina Galarza. She's also reached out about coming on the podcast. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, look at that. There's Dina there. Also another Port Jervis student. Very cool. So tell me, you finished the first book. Did you jump right into this one right away?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. What was that process like? You were only on the computer then for the voice inside.
Yes, I was only on the computer then for the voice inside. Fortunately and unfortunately, my mania was very active at that point. So I was very like go, fast. And someone who struggles with mania knows that, especially with bipolar, definitely understands that when they're go, they have to have an outlet for that. So this was my outlet for that.
Wow.
Yes.
Punching on that keyboard.
Punching on that keyboard. Exactly right. So this was my outlet, and I was able to produce a book in 3 months.
Wow.
So I was very proud of that, and I was very, very blessed. That's my one thing. I'm very blessed. I could not have done this, without God and without, my spirituality and without the work of my therapists and Gateway Pros and the work of all of my friends and my support systems, because this has just been a blessing and a journey. It really has been. It's been a journey for me.
Yeah. Well, and here they are in your hands again, holding your books in your hands. The links are in the show notes to purchase the book through Barnes & Noble there. Victoria, they say it takes a really smart person to write a book. They say it takes a genius to sell it. How do you promote the book? Here you are coming on a podcast. I've seen you done book signings, but how do you promote the book without saying, hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book? How do you promote it?
Well, I've made my own business cards. I do, which include QR codes on them. So whenever I pass out a business card, people have a direct link to my Barnes & Noble site, which
nice.
They're also available on Amazon.com.
Okay.
So Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but the QR codes on my business cards are just for Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
So whenever someone sees that, they can have a direct link to my book. I also do book signings for Barnes & Noble. I have one upcoming January 18th.
Okay.
So everyone keep a lookout for that. Kingston, New York, Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
So I post flyers around the community. I post on all social medias, as well as I have a TikTok, Stories by Victoria. Yes, I have a TikTok, Stories by Victoria, where I post about mental health and all the important aspects of mental health and how we need to give ourselves breaks and permission to relax sometimes, and all other aspects that are important to a healthy and well-balanced physical and mental health. So I do all of those things to try to promote my book, as well as word of mouth.
Yeah.
And people who buy my book, I'll ask them to maybe give me a review on Barnes & Noble or Amazon to try to promote word of mouth.
Yeah, the reviews are big. People look at it,
Yes.
right? If it has a lot of reviews, that helps. So, well, hopefully here on the podcast, we will help you get the word out. If you're a Port grad, Victoria's class of 2012 here, let's help spread the word. Victoria, back to school here. You mentioned some things here about Port Pride and the pep rallies seem to have you remember the noises, the sounds, the smells. Talk to me about some of your fond memories of school.
Oh man, so my fond memories of school, like I mentioned the pep rallies because right before I filled out the form, I found my senior shorts from my pep rally from my senior years at high school, and it said seniors across the butt, and it had drawings all over them, and I found my senior shirt from my tennis, and it had star across the back, and I just remember jumping up and down with my pigtails, and it was just the best, and I remember how much fun I used to have. And I just remember, who doesn't have bad times in high school, but who doesn't remember, jumping up and down and yelling and screaming till we were all beaten red in the face and just having a grand old time, you know what I mean? And I also remember Rachel's Challenge and our chain reaction days. And yes, we cried and we got closer together on those days, but who didn't have their heart wrenched out of their bodies on those days and love every minute of it?
Shout out to Miss Hoovler, Miss Addie, right?
Miss Addie and Miss Hoovler, yes, shout out.
Shout out. And you got involved with the club then also?
Yes.
The Challenge Club,
yes, I was a member all 4 years.
Yeah, those were great assemblies. Those were great. They really brought us together. Unfortunately, school violence, school shootings continue. But if you're not familiar, Rachel's Challenge, young lady, Rachel is one of the girls who was killed in Columbine, one of the first really publicized shootings of our lifetime. And really a lot of good came out of that, a lot of healing and such. So we had Rachel's Challenge Club for many years. Yeah.
Yes, we did. Is it still available at the high school?
I don't know if they still have that. I know we ran it for many years.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. And I was happy to hear you write about that and talk about that.
Well, it was a very, very big part of my life. Yeah. I still love it to this day. I still talk about it. That was one of my fondest memories in high school.
Awesome.
I loved it.
Victoria, I got to say, it's great to be here. I was your principal back in the day. But to hear you talk about the importance of mental health, to hear you talk about that we should talk about it is really inspiring. Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you.
So the 2 books, are you going to become a full-time author? Is that where you hope to be one day? Is that where you want to go with all of this?
That's my goal. That's my goal in my career. That's my goal to hopefully have a career, is to be a full-time author. I'm halfway through a 3rd installment, which will be a sequel to Emilia's Awakening, because this is the prequel.
But this was the 2nd book, but it's the prequel. It's kind of like Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm writing a sequel to Emilia's Awakening right now, and I'm halfway through. And then I'm also writing, I haven't broke ground on it yet, but I'm also writing a children's book for children to learn how to regulate and identify their emotions as well. And hopefully I'll be able to go through the school systems and be able to show the students and the younger students how to regulate and identify their emotions. At my last book signing, I had I'm not going to say which school district, but I had a school district reach out to me and invite me to their school district to speak to their students once my book is published.
Awesome.
So I'm very, very fortunate for that, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Very cool. Mr. Desco watching, a friend of the program here as well. That's great, Victoria. Victoria, as a writer, you're a creative artist, right? I cleaned up my office before you came in, but sometimes I find out I got papers all over the place. But I keep telling myself, well, that my creativity, I want to leave it free. Do you write the same time every day? Is it a structured, I'm going to write from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm going to do this? Or is it kind of more free, more creative? Oh, this hit me. Let me write it down.
Oh,
Do you write down at a structured time in a structured way, or is it free and open?
Oh no, it's definitely more free and open. Before I was working at a more like 6 to 8 every day, but I felt I was burning myself out.
Okay.
With the definite help of Dina Galarza Mapes, who was helping me edit every which way.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Very
she
cool.
was, and she also helped me with my book covers. Shout out to Dina, who did help me with the book covers.
Really?
Yeah, she
Very
did,
cool.
and she helped me edit. She is amazing
Yeah.
at everything she does. But we were working from 6 to 8 almost every day, but it was burning me out.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing it a little bit more free, where once I get an idea, I'll jump on and edit it out or write it out. But now once I realized I was burning myself out, now it's definitely more free time.
Good. Do you find now that you're in this third book, like, all right, are ideas for Emilia continuing to pop out?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
They're definitely flowing a lot more, what's the word? They're flowing a lot more freely.
Yeah. People say you open your brain filter and you're constantly thinking about the story. Do you find that you're back here visiting Port Jervis today? You live in New York State, a little bit of ways. But the places you go, places you visit, does that help you generate ideas for Emilia?
Oh, inspiration is everywhere. That's what they always say. You can literally find inspiration in every aspect of your life. I find inspiration for Emilia in every part of my life. Like, I find inspiration for the classes I go to at Gateway Pros to, I'm sure I can find inspiration from our meeting here today. Like, I think of like, when I think of scenes from my book, I take little bits of what did I do yesterday? What did I do the day before? And I just find little things and interactions and I just add them in. Because write what you know. That's what they always say, write what you know. And that's the best thing you can do.
Wow. You feel close to this character, Emilia?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel it's a thinly veiled aspect of my own life.
Yeah. And I love the fact that it's a series. That, you think of these series, Harry Potter, or some of these things that became, multi-million-dollar themes. But it's
you
nice.
Never know what it can do.
You never know. We might see Emilia on the big screen one day.
Oh, that's my goal.
Emilia, Victoria, what would you say to maybe the middle schoolers or high schools, the young writers that might be watching this? Somebody who might say today, hey, I want to have a book. What would you say to that young person?
Never give up. And I know that sounds cheesy, but honestly, if you have something that you want to do, even if you're horrible at it, even if everyone tells you you're horrible at it, even if you think you're horrible at it, you keep going and you keep trying until you are the best thing out there, until you are better than J.K. Rowling, Stephen King. You just keep going. If you love it, then you do it. I don't care if you are the best or the worst at something. If you love it, then you do it. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. If you love something, then you do it, and you do it to the best of your ability. And that'll be enough.
Wow. That was really good. That was really good. Victoria, how about to your teachers? The teachers here, some are retired now. But what would you say to your teachers looking back now, 12 years out of school?
Thank you for never giving up on me. I know I was a handful. I mean, I think I was a good student, but I think we all thought we were good students back then. But just thank you for always sticking by my side and never giving up on me.
Wow. Beautifully said. Victoria Sheeley, everyone, formerly Victoria Starr, while she was here in Port Jervis. Victoria, this was great. Really great. I'm really proud of you. It's like, wow, you're standing here and she's got these books and she's got another one. You could feel the passion of her writing coming off. So certainly leave Victoria a positive comment here. And The links to her books are in the show notes.
Yes, thank you.
Barnes and Noble. Again, Victoria, give us the date of that signing, January 18th.
Yes, January 18th, 1 to 5. And if you want a signed copy, you can always message me privately on Facebook, or pick up a business card anywhere. I have them. I'll be leaving them around Port Jervis. I'll have some at Burger King. I'll have some around. Just pick up a business card. You can reach out to me or message me on Facebook at Vicky Sheeley, and then you can get a signed copy through me, and I can mail it out to you. January 18th at 1 to 5 p.m.
At the Barnes and Noble in Kingston, New York.
Yes, in Kingston, New York.
Awesome. Victoria, it's a Port Pride Friday. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's the holidays.
Yes. Hashtag Port Pride.
What does Port Pride mean to you, Victoria Sheeley?
Port Pride means giving back to the community that raised me. Port Pride means just loving those who never gave up on me. Port Pride means sweating in
the gym at the pep rally.
The gym at the pep rally. It means a slow song with an ex-boyfriend at the homecoming dance that you wish the song would never end. It means everything that we wish those memories would come back. But we wish we wanted to grow up so fast, but we wanted to grow up so fast, and now we want all those memories to come back.
Yeah.
That's what Port Pride means to me.
Well said. Class of 2012. Shout out to Victoria, her family. It is not easy to write a book, and here she is. She has two. There's going to be a third coming out, children's book coming out. So Victoria, hopefully here at the school we can support you and help you and help you get the word out here. Dina Galarza, Dina from DECA, the artwork there, very cool. So we are going to sign off here on the podcast. I want to congratulate Victoria.
Thank you very much.
Again, her brother Justin's here. Shout out to Justin as well. And again, you heard from Victoria thanking her teachers, thanking the staff members, Jared Kamar, Michelle Kennedy, and others that impacted her. It's great to hear that. Right?
Yes,
We don't, as educators, we don't get bonuses. There's no financial bonus, but it's these type things, that poetry as a 13-year-old, that the adults kind of help guide you along, and here you are.
And if any kids are watching today, thank your teachers. They go above and beyond, and they don't nearly get the recognition that they deserve. The teachers, the hall monitors, the school cafeteria workers, the administrative people, they don't nearly get the credit they deserve. They break up fist fights. They deal with tantrums that we give even high schoolers. They don't nearly get the credit they deserve. So thank somebody that you know today.
All right. Victoria, thanks so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Charlie Brown is tonight and tomorrow, the middle school cabaret. Tomorrow here at the VFW in Port Jervis. Come out and support the arts. And happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you.
Victoria, can I get a Go Port?
Go Port. Woo!
See ya, everybody.